Hello, this is Randy Smith with the VicinityBrew. I want to continue our discussion about costing of inventory for a brewery. Specifically, I want to talk about the allocation methods or how you apply a cost to specific products. One is theoretical or standard, and the other is actual. Smaller breweries, even up to mid-sized breweries, often use a standard or a theoretical or a fixed cost, where they will look at the formula or the bill of material, they might call it, where you've got hops and malt and adjuncts and maybe yeast and packaging and all those kind of hard inventory costs. They have those listed in proportion to each other, and then a cost per unit for each of those items. Being able to do a pretty quick calculation by barrel or by finished good, that type of thing. It's very effective, especially for small breweries that are largely based on Excel-based spreadsheets. The challenge with that model, however, is because it's not really tied into the financial parts of the application as costs change, like we're experiencing now. You're always having to go back to that master file to change the cost of that inventory, or unfortunately for some, that cost is buried on each spreadsheet for each formula. Now, it's certainly functional, especially when you've only got a certain small number of products that you're working with, but it can become very unwieldy if you're starting to do one-offs or seasonals, or you get a large portfolio. Or, as we're experiencing right now, costs are changing significantly for virtually every aspect of the company. So theoretical standard works pretty well, but it's going to take some maintenance on your part. An actual cost is great. It's self-adjusting. And what I mean by that is if you buy hops at a new cost, that cost flows through into the next production. So any price changes would be seen through time. The challenge is it takes an inventory system to do that. I wouldn't suggest you're going to do that in Excel, or you're going to take a lot of time doing it. The good news is there are a lot of software applications out there to handle that. VicinityBrew is one of those, where when you do a PO receipt, that inventory gets updated and you use that inventory, say, in a brew log. Now the cost of the wort is based on actual costs. So an actual gives you a much better, a much more refined cost to what actually happened. But it's not for everybody in that you may not be ready for an accounting system yet. But as soon as you are, I'd really suggest you give some consideration to actual costing. Standard or theoretical costing is also available with computer-based systems, and it's very appropriate in some areas, but you always have to manage and monitor that standard cost and adjust it over time. Anyway, there are a couple of different options out there for you, and we're happy to help. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. Do me a favor and like this video if